Well, hey boys, Chelsea are back in action tomorrow at 3 PM UK time, coming up against Nottingham Forest. Tomorrow will be Callum McFarland's first game back as interim coach, so should be an interesting one. But before we get into the match preview, we do have a lot of news that's come out this week, so let's have a look at that. The biggest story that's come out today is the fact that Petr Čech did an interview with The Athletic, and he sort of expressed that he's really not happy with how the club's being run. Absolute shocker, but it's just another legend sort of stepping forward and, really telling the ownership and everyone that what's happening isn't normal. A quote from his interview reads, "The legacy of the club was winning trophies. So if we take any Chelsea fan who started following the team over the last 15 years, all they've seen is success, me included. When you have a period where you're not as successful and the positions in the league are not as good, then of course the fans will feel that." Yeah, I think we have. The fans will question that, and I think that's exactly where the club is at the moment. So there's another legend sort of coming out, basically echoing this sentiment. This great meme from Didier from a while back. But yeah, it's just not good, basically. And we've got legends of the club, legends of the game sort of backing up how everyone feels. So something's really got to change. He also spoke about the goalkeeping situation at Chelsea. He also spoke about the goalkeeping situation at Chelsea. I mean, fair enough. He is our best ever goalkeeper. And about how we're doing too much sometimes, playing out from the back. I think everyone can agree with that, especially poor Rob. Like, I remember there was a game, would have been like probably a few months ago now, where like even watching through the TV, you could literally hear the crowd cheer when Rob finally kicked it long after making multiple mistakes trying to pass out from the back. It probably wasn't one game, but just one of them sticks out to me at Stamford Bridge. I just forget who we played, but the fact that the whole stadium is cheering once we kick it long, yeah, pack it up. He also spoke about the overall strategy of BLUECO, which is also quite interesting. You have to have a look at what you want to achieve. You can have young, talented players and you can win, but it's very rare that you manage to do that. Basically saying every winning team needs some experience, which I think everyone can agree on, especially like prime Real Madrid. We're far from it right now. But even when they brought in like Valverde, Bellingham and stuff, their first few years, you had like Toni Kroos and Modric, yes, basically using walkers, not really Modric, but Kroos was on his way out, but they just had that experience around the club, people to look up to. And they're on their way out as Bellingham and Valverde is sort of on the rise. We have none of that at all, and it's a big problem, which he sort of echoes by saying, when the majority of your squad is young and doesn't have experience with going through difficult times, not many of the squad really does, let's be real, they almost look at each other thinking, all right, who's going to help me? Good point. It might be difficult for them. You need to realize what stage you're in and what is needed. Yeah, he's just spitting facts, to be honest. Petr, good bloke, great keeper. Miss you, mate. Yeah, you know what? Really is kind of sad, but just hope things turn around soon. In other news, horrible news, I think a lot of people that I've listened to, seen on Twitter and everything, have sort of had this fear that Maresca would end up at City, and I'm not sure how credible this source is, but I have seen a few different posts and articles about the fact that it's pretty much already set in place that Maresca is going to be the City coach, which, look, it's sort of lining up for that, and it makes sense. I mean, he was Pep's assistant for 2 seasons, 1 season, 2 seasons. Anyway, it is quite likely. I'm not going to lie. He also doesn't really have a job right now. And Pep, if he wins, a couple of trophies, he probably will leave. But basically, City have prepared for life after Pep already, according to this source. We cannot replace me. Well, they're going to replace him with another bald man, apparently. Direction of travel is for him to step down, and they've agreed an in-depth package with Maresca, which I've really just got a gut feeling it is going to happen, and I think it will be announced pretty soon after the season ends, no matter what. Well, obviously only if Pep leaves, but yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of shit. Like, I would sort of weirdly be kind of happy for Maresca. Like, it is a step up in his career, let's be real, but maybe the snake allegations will sort of come out again, like once this is announced, with the whole him leaving Chelsea thing. I think that was genuinely more on the ownership, not really City sort of in his ear. Well, that's what I'd like to think anyway. No one's going to know except for him, but yeah, I just don't really want to see him at City, but I'm also happy for him. I don't know. I just wish he stayed at Chelsea, to be honest. Like, I know he's not a world-class coach, but don't know. He was Pep's boy for a while. He definitely could have grown into one, and I was really starting to like him. Plus, he won the Conference League. No other Chelsea coach has ever done that, I guess. So, yeah. And to round off the news this week, Gonzalo Higuain, former Chelsea legend, he's alive and well, and he looks like a pokey addict from the most country pub you can possibly think of. So, thought that was nice to share, but let's move into the preview. So, first off, the form guide for the two teams. All right, let's move into my predicted lineup. Now, I know I said predicted lineup, but this is more so a lineup I would actually like to see for tomorrow's game. Probably won't happen. I'm guessing Tosin will be in there instead of Achimpong, and I'm assuming Cucurella will start, but I do think Hato and Achimpong should get the chance to play. I think the only other thing that I could see changing is possibly Andre Santos in for Lavia, but Lavia and Caicedo were sort of cooking against Leeds, so I don't mind it. And obviously out of the front four, I think three of them picked themselves, Neto being the odd one out. Garnacho's just been stinking up the place lately. Esteval's injured, so give Neto a go, I guess. I'd like to see him on the left instead of on the right, because Palmer's better on the right. Neto's got a decent cross on him, although crosses haven't really been that effective for Chelsea this year, but mix it up. I don't know. Enzo in the 10, obviously. Like, I think he's just sort of made that position his own recently, so yeah. I am predicting a really big game from Cole Palmer as well, coming in off that right-hand side. I think he's going to finally start cooking again. I hope so. It'd be great for him to be back, like really back for the run-in at the end of the season. But yeah, I've got a feeling he's going to score today, or tomorrow. And for the score prediction, I am predicting a 2-1 Chelsea win. Goals from Palmer and João Pedro. And I feel like the Forest, their one goal, I've just got a feeling it's going to be from our own fault, playing out from the back. I've just got bad feelings about that. But overall, I do think Chelsea are going to get the job done. So let me know your score predictions and how you're feeling about the game. But yeah, later.